What's up, YouTube? So the other day I did a video showing off basically a new GoPro gimbal, the Karma gimbal that I just purchased. And I showed it off while riding my bike. It's a 1972 Suzuki GT380. And I realized maybe I should make a little video showing off the bike. So yeah, it's a 1972 Suzuki GT380. Bought it maybe about 6 months ago. It needed a top end rebuild and a few other random things. Fixed up the chain, top end rebuild, retuned all the carburetors because it has pod filters. Got it for a steal, figured it was a rare bike, and basically couldn't say no. So let's take a look at the bike itself. So these were made from 72 to 78, I believe. Didn't look exactly like this when they were new, but pretty close. As you can see, the stock seat has been switched out with one that's a little more, you know, cafe style, or brat style as I kind of call this bike. Aftermarket taillight, blinkers integrated. It's taped shut right now because it's kind of an inexpensive mod, we'll call it. So probably someday I'll switch that out to something a little cleaner. Might just do a small circle taillight, external blinkers. I think that might look pretty clean. From the other side, actually oddly enough for a two-stroke, it has a 3-into-1 exhaust, which, I mean, it's not the best for a two-stroke to combine the exhausts. Apparently it kills the top end a little bit, but exhausts are very expensive. So we're gonna leave it for now. And it's not causing any issues. You can see I have it tuned pretty well for the pod filters. I really just had to go up in the idle jet. I think I just went up 2 sizes on the idle. Main jet's still the same. And she seems to run pretty good with those settings. Let's see, coming up to the front of the bike, new blinkers, LED. So I had to switch out the flasher unit, whatever it's called. So they blink at a normal speed. As 1972 GT380s have, we have a front drum brake. I mean, that makes it a little bit interesting for riding, but frankly it's not as bad as one would think. Just gotta squeeze the brake a little bit harder than you would. And then again in the rear, we have just some, these are probably some eBay brand rear shocks. They ride okay. I think they're a little bit heavy for the use of this bike, so the ride's a little rough, but we can deal with that. We can come up to the front. This is actually a Renthal, I believe Renthal handlebars. Not sure if they're wider, narrower, or what than the OEM handlebars. They give it a pretty good feel. They are pretty wide, especially compared to my Honda CBR. And, you know, it gives it a pretty relaxed riding feel when you're out on the road. So the factory controls, I might take these off, strip them and repaint them someday soon, we'll see. Nice little bar end mirror, RAM mount just in case I want my phone on there. Also I have a mount for my GoPro as well, which is kind of neat. Let's see, the bike itself, looking at the gauges, what do we have, 11,000 miles on it, so for a 72, really can't complain. Factory headlight, didn't really need to change anything about that. It's plenty bright, I don't really ride it at night much anyway. And then over here, this is just sort of random. There's actually a leather pencil case off of Amazon for 20 bucks. And I keep an assortment of tools in there, which for a bike from 1972 comes in handy, I guess more often than I'd like to admit. Although I still do want the yellow side cover for this side, but those are pretty hard to find because 72 is mounted differently than 73 through 78, so you need a specific one. And unfortunately, they're all in like pretty rough condition when I find them online. Obviously, the bike's a Kickstarter, as it should be, because that's how you're supposed to start a bike. That's pretty much a general overview. And we started up for you guys. Okay, so we pushed the bike to the side of my house. Just so I only bother one neighbor rather than 3 or 4 behind my house. And let's start it, see what it sounds like. Now mind you, this is on a cold motor. I haven't started it probably in, I don't know, 4 or 5 days by the time I rode last. Turn on the petcock. Which is pretty nice. I guess I did something right. Oop, okay. I was about to say, I guess I did something right when I was jetting it and adjusting the carbs. But let's start it back up. Okay, so gave her another kick and she started up. Seems to be a little bit warmer now. Even though it's not a 3-into-3 exhaust with, you know, some nice mean expansion chambers, still sounds pretty good. Hopefully you guys agree with me. And on that note, I think I'm going to go for a ride, and I'll talk to everyone later.